How are you on this beautiful Thursday afternoon? Hope you are doing well. I am going to see if everything is set up here and working before we get started. Let's see here. Let me know when you guys are live. Okay, looks like it is happening there, and we are live on LinkedIn. Awesome. Let me know when you guys are here with me in the comments. Say hello. This is my monthly episode of Ambitious Outcomes, where I share my experiences and knowledge and tips to help you better leverage LinkedIn. So these sessions are for you. So I am encouraging you to engage, ask questions, and let me know what you guys have been up to. So today I have several LinkedIn updates I want to share with you, and also want to see how you guys are doing. And we will, oops, I forgot to turn off my notifications per usual. Oops. Okay, let me know when you guys are here. I see some people on the LinkedIn front. Awesome. So let me know in the comments, say hello so I know it's working. And before we get into it, my agency Mod Girl specializes in building humanized LinkedIn marketing solutions and programs for B2B brands. So in other words, we leverage the amazing human beings within organizations to help brands stand out on LinkedIn, grow their brand awareness and brand influence. And we're doing a lot of really cool things right now, getting amazing results. And if you guys are on my email list, or if you follow me on LinkedIn, you probably saw my announcement with our new affiliate program for our LinkedIn brand, Luminetics. So if you guys have anyone, clients, connections, friends that could use some help with LinkedIn and growing their brand presence, feel free to make an introduction. And I am more than happy to send you 15% commissions on anyone who turns into a new client. So we are excited about that. Let me know how you guys are doing in the comments. Okay, here we go. Hey, Carolyn, thanks so much for hopping on. Hey, Dale, good afternoon from the North Georgia mountains. Good afternoon from sunny Northern California. Hey, Steve, thanks for joining. How's Texas? Hey, Gata, thanks so much from sunny Tenerife. Oh, lucky you, girl. I love that. James, how did you do that on your video profile going live? I guess the new LinkedIn creator mode. James, that's so funny you said that. I'm literally going to talk about that right now. LinkedIn has a ton of new updates that I want to talk to you guys about, and that is one of them. So we're going to get right into it then. So today I'm going to tell you about a couple of new updates. I literally, James, just did that right before I hopped on because I wanted to do it for you guys so you could check it out. So James is talking about the new LinkedIn creator mode. So what this is LinkedIn is allowing you to create a cover story, I think is what they call it. So if you go to your profile on mobile, you should see this yellow or orange, it's like a light orange circle around your face. And if you click it, it'll give you the option to create a cover photo, or I don't know what they call it, cover story, I think. And so it's just like this 20-second video clip that people can see. So it's another way to humanize your brand. I talked to you guys about leveraging the voice note feature several months back when that first came out, and I've been mentioning it again and again, which is like the name pronunciation tool. So this is just another feature that LinkedIn is allowing to help you connect more with people, right? So people feel like they know you. And so if you go to my profile, you will see it. James, do you say, oh, you don't have the creator mode? Oops, that was my next point. I was gonna say, I don't know if everyone has it or not, or if they're rolling this out to certain, people in certain areas of the world. I don't really know, but good to know that you don't have it, James. I'm not good that you don't have it. I'm sorry you don't have it, but I'm good to know that because now I know that not everyone has it. So I have no clue how to get you on creator mode, by the way, James. No idea. I don't even know how I got it. I'm just assuming they're doing it to random people. So if you guys, to find out if you have it, go to your mobile app and look to see if you have that, and then go ahead and create a quick little 20-second video and see what happens. So that's what I did. Does it show up on desktop too? I literally don't even know. I'm gonna have to go and look on my profile right now to check it out. Oh, it does. Cool. Okay, so I see the little Oh, it's on my, oh gosh, I didn't know that that was happening, James. So the LinkedIn Live is now playing on my background? What? This is wild. So if you guys go to my profile right now, the LinkedIn, I had no clue this is how it worked. Thanks for letting me know this, James. Agata says we are always late on features in Europe. I know, you guys are. They always give you like the last dibs. I feel like Australia gets like number one, like they test out things there sometimes. So yeah, this is really neat. I am so glad I did this right before I went live, you guys. And I'm not even happy with my quick little video, but that's awesome. So check out LinkedIn Creator Studio, you guys, and do this because it's obviously pretty neat if you can see me now on my profile. Right on. Thank you, LinkedIn. And thank you, James. Okay, so that's one of the updates. Another update I have, let me know if you guys have heard of this too. So I've been hearing rumors, and it kind of makes sense with what we've been seeing, that LinkedIn now changed the limits of how many people you can connect with on a weekly basis. So it used to be you can send up to 100 connection requests per day. And now they're saying that they changed that to 100 per week. Have any of you seen this? Have you noticed anything? If you're sending outreach messages, have you been getting messages that say, you know, be careful with who you're sending messages to? So some people are getting these little messages that pop up that's like, do you know this person? Or, you know, make sure you're sending the right connection request. So they're kind of getting warned in a way. And then what we've seen is them decreasing the limits for how many people you can send connection requests to. And so this is a pretty drastic difference because it went from 100 a day, which I would never recommend anyone sending 100 a day, to now they're saying 100 maximum a week. And I think they're doing this to decrease the spam because so many people are abusing LinkedIn, unfortunately, right now, especially since it's been growing with the pandemic. So I think a lot of people are abusing it. And so LinkedIn is cracking down on that. And so now they're really, you know, serious about decreasing the amount of connections you can send. Let me know if you guys have heard this. Hey, Chris, how are you? Hey, Yvonne. Glad you like that. The LinkedIn Live Creator feature. Steve says, are we still capped at 30,000? Yes, that's not going to change, Steve. So like the 30,000 friends cap is still there. So once you hit 30,000, I say friends, that's Facebook, sorry. 30,000 connections, you're done with connections and then people can follow you. So that hasn't changed. I think it's just the amount of new connection requests you can send. Chris says the spam is awful. Yeah, it is awful. So hopefully this is going to crack down on it and decrease the amount of people that are spamming. That would be awesome. Hey, Jesus from Facebook. Thanks for helping. Hopefully it does work, but I wanted to bring that up. So if you guys are running any outreach campaigns, just keep that in mind. You might want to pay attention to how many you're sending on a daily basis. And be careful because the last thing we want to happen is you get in trouble, right? Or a slap on the wrist or in LinkedIn jail where you can't send any connection requests and that's not fun at all. So just be careful when you guys are sending connection requests and doing outreach messages to make sure that you're staying in those safe limits, if you will. Okay, now another LinkedIn update I have for you, which I just discovered this, which is interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but so you know how I talked to you guys about sharing personal, like non-business content in conjunction with business content. So having a good balance of, you know, storytelling, whether it's you as a professional, as a human being, or your clients, personal stories, and then business tips, and then just random like news, like hijacking, you know, newsjacking, sorry, is what it's called. Hijacking news stories, etc. So I am a big proponent of diversification when it comes to content marketing, not just on this platform, but on all platforms. So I have always encouraged people to share like personal content on LinkedIn. This is funny though. So LinkedIn apparently launched this campaign called Do Business Where Business Is Done. AKA stop posting your dog pictures on LinkedIn. I'm serious. That's basically what it's about. So they've noticed that there's been a rise in off-topic content on the platform and they're not happy about it. So they're literally telling people to only post content where business is done. And this isn't a Facebook. This isn't an Instagram. It needs to be business content, which I think is hilarious. And I totally don't agree with that. But I guess the CEO has long voiced his concerns. LinkedIn's still relatively new CEO, Ryan Roslansky, has voiced his concerns about this. So I guess back in February, he was talking smack on broetry. Do y'all know what broetry is? I've talked about this before too. I don't know if I've talked about it on LinkedIn Lives before, but I totally use some broetry sometimes. Broetry is like double-spaced text where it's like, I woke up at 6 a.m. I was late to my first meeting. I got fired. You know, like it's very like dramatic, like storytelling. Okay, and that's called broetry. Well, apparently, Homeboy is not a fan of this or sharing pictures of pugs and dogs. And so he has all these examples that he goes through, and they had like on their LinkedIn Marketing Solutions page, they had a video of a pug, like using that as an example of like not sharing personal content. So I just thought that was pretty funny. So this is what it says. It says, the campaign aims to highlight the value of reaching people in a business mindset on the platform as opposed to using the same meme-style tactics that you might on other platforms. And then they're going into, it's LinkedIn's way of saying businesses should focus on connecting with business-minded people on the platform as opposed to memes and off-topic updates. Do you guys have any thoughts on this at all? I want to know your opinion on this because here's my thought. With more and more people using LinkedIn, people do business with people, and I want to know the people behind these businesses, and that's what we do. Like, I'm not saying you need to share your breakfast or dinner on LinkedIn, but I feel like when people are just all about business, it doesn't resonate as much. So it's not resonating when you're just sharing a bunch of business topics. So I am all about mixing in personal content with business content to help people. And not to mention, we're all working, most of us are working from home. Even these large organizations that previously weren't, a lot of their employees are still working from home. So it's funny that they say do business where business is done. Well, a lot of business is done in people's homes these days. So I don't know. I feel like it's interesting. Yvonne says, the audio from your LinkedIn profile and desktop is really low, just worth noting. Good to know, Yvonne. I will check that out. LinkedIn programmers are probably still working out the kinks. Hey, Adolfo, thanks for hopping on. Dale says, has the algorithm changed regarding the number of views on posts? I seem to be getting many more views randomly, not for every post. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Dale, because we have noticed the same thing with our clients and ourselves. So I don't know if the algorithm has changed. That's a really good point, though, but I'm glad to hear that you have too. Has anyone else noticed this recently? Let me know in the comments on LinkedIn. Have you guys noticed your post views increasing in the past week or so? Steve says, I agree with you. People want to connect with the person before they want to be sold. Exactly. And that's why we focus on this at Mod Girl. Like, this is what we do for companies. We humanize brands. We provide humanized LinkedIn services for brands who want to stand out and do big things, who want to increase their brand exposure and their brand influence. And we do this by leveraging the human beings behind their organization because people want to do business with people. So we're still sharing business content, sure. Like, we're not sharing what these executives ate for dinner last night or anything like that. But I still like to get a good mix in there where I can of like these people's passions and outside of just work, because you can relate a lot of outside of work functions to your work even. Like, this is who I am as a human being. These are my passions, and this is how it, spills over into what I do for a living and how I help people. So I think it's funny that LinkedIn is discouraging people to share personal content. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of ironic, especially because I'm the one out there like preaching to like get more personal on LinkedIn. And then here they are telling people, don't do that. It's pretty funny. So James says, I seem to be getting higher engagement recently too. Okay, James, interesting. So there must be something going on with the algorithms right now, because we've noticed a major increase in views too across our clients' posts and mine as well. So exactly, Yvonne, people do business with people they like, show that you're likable. That's my angle, 100%. And you can do that in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be sharing personal content per se, but just different types of content, like your take on on something that's trending right now, or, you know, it can be anything. I just don't feel like it needs to be businessy all the time. Agata says, everyone says authenticity is the word of the year in 2021. Okay, good to know. And we are supposed to be perfect button-up professionals on LinkedIn. I know, girl, right? It doesn't make any sense. I've always been about authenticity and realness, clearly. I don't really hide a whole lot. Eric says, do business where business is done. Interesting. I try to tie personal type posts into something business related. I do agree to largely keep the personal, family, pet posts off the platform, but if you can tie it into something business related, that's good. I'm with you, Eric. You know, I don't think we need to be posting a bunch of random, you know, unrelated things, but if, you know, something comes up and you want to share it, I feel like you should be able to share that, even if it isn't related to business. Like if it's every now and then, like I posted a picture of us horseback riding a couple of weeks ago, and it was so much fun. And it was like on a Sunday that I posted it, and it was just like awesome pictures that got really good engagement, and people enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it, and I loved it, and that's why I shared it. But I'm not doing that like every day. So I feel like it's not a big deal if you have a good balance and you're resonating with people. Roger says, does anyone still review their social sun index? Totally, Roger. Yes, we use SSI. Do you have any questions on that? Let me know. Okay, so let me go into a couple other things I wanted to mention. Okay, speaking of getting great engagement and views on LinkedIn right now, I have noticed, have you guys also noticed that polls are doing really well? Are you guys posting polls, by the way? Let me know in the comments. So my polls have done exceptionally well the last few weeks. Actually, the most views I've ever received on posts have happened literally in the last few weeks. And this is all-time highs I've ever got. And it's from polls. All of them are polls, which is interesting. And I actually landed clients off of this poll as well. So I'm going to tell you guys a little trick that we use for ourselves and our clients when it comes to polls and content on LinkedIn. So there's so many people that are noticing that polls are taking off though. And so there's tons of people posting polls. Have you guys seen this? All the polls that are showing up on LinkedIn. So before I get into this, if you're doing polls, which I highly encourage you to do polls, be smart about it and be strategic about it. And you want to come up with something that people are intrigued to know the answer on. So that encourages them to click something and respond to that poll because they want to see how other people respond. So I noticed that these polls are doing really, really well. Okay. Let me go back up and read what you guys are saying here. God says, I like to show backstage of our work with humor, put a spin on business content and some personality. Yes, I love that. I love your stuff, by the way. You guys do really great at your humanized content. It makes me smile. So nice work. Matt says, personally, I only want to connect, sell, work with people that appreciate the entirety of my person. I think it extends to brands. People want to engage with brands that show their colors. 100%, Matt. I agree with you. That's exactly what we do at Mod Girl. Roger says, just doesn't seem to move at all. Yeah, the SSI, mine's pretty stagnant too. It doesn't move a ton either, Roger. And Roger's seen a huge increase in polls. And Agata says she just spoke with putting more polls on because we see them a lot. Okay, awesome. So with polls, you guys want to be strategic about it because there are so many people posting polls. So my thing is post a poll, but also post like your insights on it and maybe some tips or provide some value in the post in addition to the poll, and make the poll something that you haven't seen a ton before on LinkedIn. And you could do a couple of different things. So one, it can be something that you think will go viral or get a lot of responses, even if it has nothing to do with your business. And the second thing is do it business related so that you can send it to people. And that's what I'm getting ready to tell you. So, oh man, Dale, that's hilarious. Dale just said too many polls, including a recent poll asking if you respond to polls. Wow, that kind of made my brain hurt, Dale, reading that. Yeah, that's where I crossed the line. That's very meta, if you will. That's funny. So here's what I've done recently to land new clients on LinkedIn. So I'll create a poll that is related to what we do for companies on LinkedIn. And then after I have the poll up and live, by the way, I've been prolonging my polls for 2 weeks instead of 1 week. So it'll let you pick how long you want your poll to stay open for. And I've been doing 2 weeks. So I have more time to market them, if you will, market them. And here's how I do that. So I will send a message to select first degree connections. So I'll use Sales Navigator. I'll come up with a list of chief marketing officers for technology companies, for example. And I will send them a message. Hey Dale, I just posted this poll. Would appreciate your one-click answer. Link to the poll, Hope you're doing well. Thanks, Mandy. Like something super simple. Hey, Dale, I just posted this poll and I thought you might want to chime in. Would appreciate your one-click answer. But link, thanks so much, Mandy. So it's really super short and you send this to however many people you want. Could be 10, could be 50 of the target market you're either going after or looking to partner with, whatever it is, the people you're trying to get in front of, and you send them that message. And it works really, really well because not everyone sees every piece of content you put out, for one. Not everyone is browsing LinkedIn like I am every day. Like not everyone is on LinkedIn every day like I am. So especially busy executives, CEOs, chief marketing directors, VPs, these people are busy. So when you send them this in a message and it's super short and to the point and it's related to them, then you're going to get a decent response. So I had people responding back, hey, good timing, actually. We've been talking about this internally. And I'm like, bam, 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 we have a winner. We have a winner. So it's just a numbers game here. And when it comes to, posting this type of content and getting it in front of the right people. So I want to encourage you guys to leverage LinkedIn Messenger to send out your content. Don't do this right away when you're connecting with people though. It's off-putting. So if you just have a new connection request from someone, or if you send out connection requests, do not instantly send them your content. Don't do that. Build a relationship first. But it's really good to send to your existing first degree connections when you have something you want more traction on and you genuinely want people's thoughts. Like, don't make it a super salesy post because people can see right through that. Don't send them something that's overly promotional. You can have promotional posts on LinkedIn. That's totally fine. But those aren't the ones to send to people in LinkedIn Messenger. So let me know if you guys are following on that and if you've tried this before. Have you guys sent polls to your connections on LinkedIn? And if so, how did it go? Let me know. Okay, I just refreshed so I can get the comments here. So that's the thing I wanted to mention. Another thing, let me know if you guys have done the slide deck. So on Monday, I posted a slide deck that has over 10,000 views now, and it had over 10,000 views relatively quickly, and it wasn't even mine. I was on a podcast, the Innovative Agency podcast, and they gave me those slides, and I posted them, and it did really well. And I don't usually post a ton of slides. And when I say slides, I mean it's like a PDF that you upload, and it looks like slides that you can flip through. We do this for clients. I don't personally do it a ton, but I'm going to start doing it more because I noticed it got quite a bit of views, but then again, it could be the algorithm because here we are talking and everyone here, is seeming like we're noticing an uptick in views. So I don't even know if it has anything to do with that, the slide decks. Let me know if you guys are leveraging that in your content as well. Oh, glad you liked it, David. It wasn't mine, but thanks. I tweaked it a little bit, but it was the actual, the podcast host that did those, the assistant. So glad you liked it. But one thing too, I noticed that is just a fair warning. If you post a poll that is on a controversial topic, be prepared to spend lots of time responding to comments. I had a pretty controversial poll that has over 150,000 views on the Krispy Kreme donut and vaccine deal a few weeks ago. It was just a random thought I had. I'm not uber passionate about any side. I just shared a thought and wanted to see what people's, take was on it. And it blew up. Several haters, several people, heated arguments like crazy. And it was very time consuming to deal with. So just a word of advice there, be smart about what you're going to post. And if you want to post something controversial just to see what happens, just be prepared for some backlash and prepared for spending time responding to comments, etc. So that's just a word of advice. I'm all about experimentation and trying new things when it comes to content marketing. So I was like, oh, I'll try it and see what happens. I had no idea it was going to get the traction it did. So, just a word of advice on polls. Roger says, I cannot wait until live conferences meeting where you can utilize Find Nearby on our mobile devices. I know, right, Roger? Gosh, it's crazy that, still these conferences are still not opening back up, or going live, but some of them are, I noticed. Definitely not in California, more so elsewhere. Okay, so another thing that I want to mention, you guys, when it comes to content, tag other people in things, not just because you want their opinion, but what also works well and helps you and your company become kind of known and like in the circle, like in the cool kids circle on LinkedIn, is when you are including people and tagging them in your post, but you're talking about them. So for example, let's say there was a news story out on something in your industry and it's a company, but they're not a direct competitor. Let's say they were quoted in some sort of news story, some sort of trend. What you can do is you can go and put your 2 cents of this story. You can put a screenshot of either the title or even the quote. Then you tag the person in your industry that was included in that article and tag the company that either wrote the article or that was included in it. So you're tagging at least 2 people here, 1 individual and 1 company, and then you say your 2 cents on it, and then you're attracting the attention of these people that you're tagging, and you're immersing yourself in the conversation that's happening in the industry. So it's almost like you are inserting yourself into the thought leadership circle on LinkedIn just by talking about people and tagging them in your stuff. So this is very, very powerful. I guess I'm today giving you tips on how to get more powerful results with your content. That's what it's turning into here. But that's another thing that I've noticed is the more you can do that, the more that people are going to A, be aware of you and your company, and B, people are going to see that you have your finger on the pulse on what's happening in your industry. And that is so important because people want to do business with companies that are staying in the know and they are on top of trends that are happening in the industry. They are business friends with people in the industry. So anytime that you can associate yourself with others in your industry that are included in news stories or sharing their own, thought leadership content, etc., the better off you are going to be from a credibility and trustworthiness standpoint. Not to mention that helps you build relationships with these thought leaders in your industry. So let me know if you guys are following there and what your thoughts are on that and if you've tried that as well. But we do this a lot for our clients. I don't do this as much for me. I probably should. As I'm like, I always do this. I'm talking on these LinkedIn lives or in my mastermind groups and I'm giving tips. And I'm like, actually, I haven't done that in a while. I should do that myself. So this is helpful for me too. So that's just one thing that works really well that I don't see enough people doing. So if you really are trying to, build up your influence in your personal brand or that of the individuals in your company, you really do need to be including other people in the industry when you talk. And it could even be comments. So Steve, you're really good at doing this. If Steve, you're still on. So Steve includes people in his posts and, gets traction that way as well. Dale says, this sounds like purposeful tagging, not a long list of names asking for comments. Exactly. That's kind of what I'm getting at, Dale. Like, I am not a huge fan of tagging 800 people in comments and asking for their thoughts. You can do that occasionally, not 800, obviously. You could do that for a handful of people, a dozen people occasionally. But this is a better way of getting people engaged with your stuff, not to mention you're kind of tooting their horn. So when you're mentioning people in the way that I just described, you're kind of like, you're agreeing with them in a way, or you're appreciating their work, their content, their quote. So you're kind of talking them up, or talking up the subject that they talked up, if that even makes sense. So in that way, I feel like it is an easier way to get people to respond, and it is a more natural way to include people in your content. So I'm glad you brought that up, Dale, because a lot of people are just doing I'm going to tag a bunch of people in the comments and I'm going to see what happens. And that can be annoying to some people. It can work to a degree, but I don't recommend doing that often. Okay, so just try this tactic as well. It's so funny. I always have so much to share with you guys and I always run out of time here. So that was the one thing. And another thing is just speak to people like you would one-on-one. So you just brought up how we want to be, right? So Roger, you just brought up you can't wait till live conferences so you can get that fine nearby on your mobile devices. So on that note, because we're not in person, if you just treat people online like you would in person, it's going to resonate so much better. So when you're writing content, pretend that you're talking to these people and they're right in front of you, or it's a one-on-one conversation with someone, because when you do that, it's more personal. And it resonates with people because people do business with people for one, and you need to evoke those emotions, right? That's the whole point of kind of content marketing and storytelling, is to have people, feel what you're talking about. And so when you're just like talking to general people, it doesn't evoke that emotion. It doesn't resonate as much as when you're talking to someone one-on-one. So it's just a mindset thing when you're writing content or creating content to, you know, speak to your audience like they're there in front of you and like it's one-on-one. And then as always, you know, the more humanized you can make it, the better. Storytelling about your clients, storytelling about you. Like the whole point is, you know, to share your passion, your why, and the humans behind your organization, whether it's just you or you have a large team of people. The whole goal really now in the day of age that, you know, that we're in right now is to build up those authentic, like you just mentioned, Agata, that authenticity and realness and humanized approach to everything you do in your marketing. No offense to brands who do this, because we still need to share white papers and webinars, but that's not moving the needle. So, you know, it's okay to share on your company page these sort of things like your webinars and your white papers and your press releases, but that's not going to get people to be like, wow, this brand is awesome. I want to do business with them. It's not exciting. Not a lot of people care about that. So you have to humanize everything you do if you want to stand out and actually make waves in your industry and be seen as a thought leader from a branding perspective and a humanized brand perspective, because you want to build brand demand where people are coming to you because of what they see that you're putting out there. You don't want to have to rely on ads, which is the post that I just made on Monday that did really well in the slides of how, you know, these companies are relying on LinkedIn ads and they're spending so much money and it's not really doing a lot of amazing results. I mean, some of them it's working, but they have no idea how much more impactful it is when you are focusing on humanized organic marketing, because you're building a following and a fan base of people that are going to come to you when they need it. Because here's the thing, people don't need not everyone needs your services right now, but if you're building up this brand demand and awareness and top of mind awareness, then they're going to come to you when they're ready. And you can't just do that with ads. So the only way to build a long-term sustainable brand for the long haul that gets amazing results and allows your brand to become an industry leader is to post this valuable thought leadership content, leveraging the humans behind your organization and do it in a way that resonates with people and educates people, and people see you as a value in the industry. And then they're going to come to you when they're ready, and then they're going to share you with their peers and their colleagues. And so that's really the only way right now to gain that, industry influence if you want to do big things and have your brand stand out. And LinkedIn is the best place to do that right now. So just wanted to mention that. Steve, so glad you love it. Thanks for hopping on. And we are now at the end of this glorious LinkedIn Live. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know if you have any other questions I can answer for you right now. Going back to the SSI thing, it's funny that you mentioned that because someone asked me about that the other day, about like how to get your SSI score up. And honestly, I just told them like, it's just more engagement. Like you just need more engagements on your posts and you need to be building more relationships. So it's interesting, that SSI score. I wouldn't worry too much about it though, to be honest. Dave says, I love it, Mandy. Practice what you have taught me and it works. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that, David. Dave says, great pull. What would you call blank what we are right now? What are you trying to say, Dave? There. So yeah, the SSI score is definitely interesting. But I wouldn't, again, we use that as a gauge for clients to compare like where they were to where they are now after working with us. Other than that, we don't look at it a ton. At the end of the day, you just need to figure out what works for you and do that. So one last thing, the reason why companies aren't leveraging, kind of the humanized content marketing aspect is a lot of them are overworked as is, their marketing teams, and they don't have the bandwidth. And so this is what we run into a lot, is people just don't have the time. These marketing teams are already strapped as is. So they don't have the resources, the team members, or the time to do what needs to be done from a humanized content perspective. And that's why we exist, is because we do this on behalf of clients. So we take their genius out of their executives, out of their board members, and we put that into content, into, you know, video interviews with them, and really neat thought leadership content that's diversified, whether it's an all text or an image or an infographic or a video or whatever it is, and they don't have to worry about that. So, you know, there's a huge opportunity here for companies like us to help organizations do this, because a lot of them don't have the bandwidth, or they don't know how to do it. That's another thing too. Or they don't have people that are willing to spend the time to do it. So there's so many aspects in this, because you also have to have an executive team that is innovative and lets people think for themselves. Because the last thing you want to do is encourage your team members to post a bunch of content that's corporatized, and then they feel like their voices aren't being heard, and they have to have this muffle around who they really are because it has to be corporate content, and we do not want that at all. So, you know, there is this fine line between having, you know, people share stories and grow their personal brands on behalf of the organization and behalf of them, and doing it in a way that is beneficial for both, where the person still builds their personal brand and their influence as a thought leader in the industry, agnostic to the company, but they're still a representative of the company at the same time. So it is a delicate balance here, but it's, if you have an innovative approach to this and a team that's willing to do this, then amazing things can happen. But, you know, I sit here all day long and I talk about it, and it might sound easy, but it's really not, it's not easy per se, or everyone would do it, right? And that's why we exist, is to help companies do that. So it's just something to think about too, as you guys are doing this in your organization, or helping other companies do this. It is incredibly powerful, but it does take an entire team to get behind this and to help actually execute this. But when you do it, it is amazing what happens. You get so much ROI, more so than LinkedIn ads could ever do, and it's for the long haul too. So huge fan of, you know, doing this, leveraging personal brands, leveraging content from humans with any organization on the LinkedIn company page, and on personal pages as well. So if there's anything that we can do at ModGirl to help you guys do this, you or your clients or your connections and colleagues, please let us know. Happy to help. We are doing a lot of amazing things and getting great results for people doing exactly what I just said and what I just spent 37 minutes talking to y'all about. So I will leave it at that. I will let you guys get back to your busy Thursday. I apparently need to go redo my creator, what do they call it? I don't even know. See, I already forgot what they call it. Creator Studio cover story. That's what it is. Cover story, since Yvonne told me that the sound wasn't good. So you guys, everyone who's watching, go and look to see if you have that Creator Studio option. Go on your mobile phone, see if you have the orange circle around your face on your profile photo, head to your profile, and then do it. So make a post and let me know how it goes, or your creator background cover story. Why do I have a problem remembering what that is? Creator cover story, whatever. Go do it. Let me know what you think of it. Okay, I'm gonna hop off here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, if there's anything I can do to help you, your connections, or your clients, do not hesitate to reach out. Again, we have that 15% affiliate program. Happy to pay you for your referrals if they turn into clients. So always keep that in mind, and I will see you guys next month. Okay? Thanks so much, per usual. Enjoy the rest of your day.